Why has everybody always got to pick on Cade Povich? I got to tell you, he strikes out about a batter an inning. He can touch 95 as a left-hander, good curveball as we've seen, good kick change as we've seen. Not everybody comes out of the gate and is Jim Palmer, is Sandy Koufax. I like him.
Sandy
I really
Koufax?
do. And
Dude, Cade Povich isn't even Sammy Stewart.
are you ready for the good, the bad, and the ugly? Joe Rossano's Orioles report with the brilliant Michael Sullivan is next. Welcome to Joe Rossano's Orioles report with Michael Sullivan. If it's good, we say it. If it's bad, we say it. If it's ugly, we say it. Michael Sullivan, kick us off, sir.
Well, first of all, happy 30 days to the first spring training game of the season. In just 30
Happy
days
30
from today,
days.
it might be 31. February 20th, the Orioles will open their spring training season against the Yankees. So at least that's something to look forward to. While
Absolutely.
it's kind of been a quiet week for the Orioles with regards to anything that they might have done, it has not been a quiet week in Major League Baseball, particularly as it comes to free agent signings, Joe. And I'm going to say, particularly when it comes to insane free agent signings. You got a thought on any of the ones that have happened in the last week?
Okay, yeah. As a matter of fact, I Googled some. That's how smart I am. Okay. Bichette, 3 years, 126 million. Okay. You know what? A lot of money, don't get me wrong. But Bo Bichette, relatively young guy, either won or was very close to winning a batting title a couple of years ago. I thought had a very good year last year. I think he plays a good shortstop. He's an all-star pretty much every year. They got a guy for 3 years, 126 million. It's a lot of money, but he is a young cat. He's a young guy. Let's see. What else do we got here? Kyle Tucker. Matter of fact, let me table that one because that's just going to make me mad in front of all the fans here. Let's see. Okay. The only thing I can see here, that we already know about is you got Jorge Polanco. Okay. Jorge Polanco. You know who that is, right,
Yeah.
Michael? Just checking real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know him?
Yeah,
Jorge
I know who he
Polanco?
is. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'm not saying he's a buddy of yours. Okay, well, he got 2 years, 40 million, $20 million a year, $20 million a year. I think Justin Verlander's probably going to get 15 no matter where he goes. And all right, we're going to do Kyle Tucker, but I'm going to make a few comments. Kyle Tucker, I mean, I'm not saying that the contract is bad. 4 years at 240. So that's 4 times. What is that? Is that 60 million a year? I mean, my math
It's
has to
$60
be
million
off.
a year.
60. Now, let me tell you what the Dodgers do. Okay. They defer all of their salaries. Okay. So Shohei Ohtani only makes about $10 million a year because they are going to pay Shohei Ohtani until he's 70. Okay, that's how they do it. That's their trick. Okay, but this is bad for baseball. It's bad for baseball. I don't care. I mean, 4 years. What do you get? 240 for the
4
love of
years.
God.
The average
4
annual
years,
value of that contract is $60 million a year. And
60
like you
million.
said, they defer a lot of it. They won't pay it all right away, although he gets a gigantic sum of money as a signing bonus. But it makes him the second highest paid player in baseball by average annual value, behind only Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. We're talking about a guy who he hit 22 home runs last year, and he batted 266. The dude has hit 30 home runs twice, but that was 4 and 5 years ago. He's a very good player, and he's basically a five-tool player. He's a good defensive player, good offensive player, but still, I don't think that justifies $60 million a year. Now, as you said, the Dodgers, their way of doing business is to sign massive contracts, defer huge amounts of it. But what I see is that their payroll this year, which includes what they're paying people and then what they have to pay in terms of a luxury tax in baseball is $414 million. It's like more than the bottom 3 or 4 teams in baseball, their payrolls combined. And I agree with you, it's bad for baseball. It's people nobody can compete with that. So far, not even not even the Yankees or the Red Sox or anybody else seem to be playing in that deep end of the salary pool. And we're talking about a team that's
Well,
won the last 2 World Series and certainly seemed positioned to win a third with the type of team that they're going to roll out.
well, Steinbrenner, rest in peace, isn't around anymore, so Lord knows what he would have done. However, bad for baseball. Seriously. Okay, so here we go. Freeman, Betts, Tucker, Ohtani, goodness graciousness.
It's like an all-star team. Quite frankly, if you put if the Dodgers played in the World Baseball Classic, they'd win it.
They
Right? I mean,
win it.
they'd win it on their own without anybody from another team. I think it's really bad. Everything I read suggests that baseball, and I hate to think this way, but that baseball is headed for a lockout in 2027 because the owners,
They are going to lock out. I hope
yeah,
they don't
because the
lock out
owners have
during the
just
season.
had enough. The owners who are not the Dodgers, and a lot of people say, "Oh, well, other teams could do this too." They can't because they just don't have that financial wherewithal. And some of what the Dodgers have done, which is, it's been brilliant for them. They signed Shohei Ohtani. They're now the biggest team in Asia. So, their audience, their market is gigantic compared to any other team in Major League Baseball merely by the presence of Ohtani. And so, when you take the Far East market, Los Angeles, all the West, it's just, their money and their resources are basically unlimited. And I don't think that's good for baseball.
Terrible for baseball. And I have a personal example. I was a soccer player just about my whole life, for better or for worse. Okay. 2011. Okay. And I'm going to say this. I don't care. They're just going to have to get mad at me. 2011, the team did mediocre. 2012, Michael Sullivan, I went out and got every ringer I could find. About 5, 6 guys who played for who were retired from the Baltimore
Yeah.
Blast, the whole 9 yards. I went and got them all. And we just absolutely dominated every game. We won 7-0, 8-0, 9-0, 10-1. And for soccer, outdoor soccer, 8, 9, 10 goals is a lot. Okay. So, and you know what? Everybody in that league, everybody hated me. They hated me. They were so mad at me for that because
I
they
don't think
knew
I
the
just want to,
guys
that
on the team.
probably was not just because of the players you got, Joe. Some of that is just purely personal. I have no doubt.
I love it. That's what you're on here for. Yeah. However, it was, you know what? I didn't say it at the time, but if you're watching, fellas, it probably wasn't very good for the league. It really, really wasn't. I mean, I had too many guys. Every guy on my roster was a rock star, and except for me, and it probably wasn't good for soccer in the Baltimore, Maryland community there. But what I will say is, yeah, I mean, come on with this. Really? Every time a player that's good becomes available, whether in Japan or here in the United States, the Dodgers go out and sign him. Sasaki, etc. And I'm pretty much over it right now. I just, you know, and I'm not the kind of guy. I'm a free market fella. Okay. I am. But it's not fair for the Marlins have spent 40 million and the Dodgers spent 440
Yeah.
million, give or take. I think you 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 touched on the number earlier. I may be wrong. Their annual
No, over
payroll,
400
did
there.
you say that was about for what?
I think when you take into account the payroll and the luxury tax, because they've exceeded a certain level of spending, that total is
Yeah.
that they're spending on players for this year is $414 million.
Yeah. See, and you got other teams spending 40.
Yeah.
And it's just, and Stephen A. Smith, I'll run the clip.
Be happy for him for getting this bag. But $60 million? The only reason the Dodgers are doing this is because they can. They print money. They print money. This can't continue. Props to the Toronto Blue Jays for taking them 7 games.
He says, hey, it's on them. I mean, the Yankees could have done it. The Mets could have done it. The Red Sox didn't pay Mookie Betts. I mean, but you have teams like Tampa, small market teams. The Orioles are not particularly a large market. Let me tell you why. The Nats came in before the Washington Nationals, as you know, Michael. The Orioles had that entire market in the Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia area. And that's gone now. So again, at the end of the day, hey, why not? I got a chance to win. The weather's nice. And, I'm making a lot of money. So, but I don't like it, Michael.
Not
I
only
don't
not
like
only
it.
is that not only market now shared with the Nationals, but this year the Nationals have ended their relationship with Massa. So, revenue that used to come in, and at least a portion of it, even though, changed over the years, a portion of that would have flowed to the Orioles. Now they're off of Massa. And so, that's going to cut into the Orioles' financial resources a little bit. And I guess, to Stephen A. Smith's point, the notion that, yeah, anybody can do it theoretically. Yeah, but not financially. And I'd sort of equate it to the situation in college football right now where, everybody can spend money. Like they have the right to spend money to collect players, but not everybody has the resources to collect players. And that's the situation that Major League Baseball finds itself in now. And I think eventually something will give.
Yeah, now I covered this on the show on Monday. All right. But I got to ask the brilliant Michael Sullivan, Justin Verlander, what you?
I am of two minds on this. Justin Verlander, from the standpoint of putting a guy in the Orioles clubhouse who has won, I think it's 266 games. I think he's 2 wins behind Jim Palmer, who has 268. So putting a guy like that with playoff experience and Cy Young awards and a veteran who's figured out long ago that he can win not just by throwing, but by pitching. From that standpoint, I think it'd be great to have him in the clubhouse. On the other hand, I worry, are we going to get Charlie Morton version 2.0? A 42-year-old guy who pitched okay last year, and he comes in and, takes a steep dive, ooh. So I worry about that. I mean, his ERA last year was 3.85. His whip was a
On my
little higher
line.
than it's been, but, he pitched okay. He's 40.
And then there you go. 4-11 was his record. 3.85, as you mentioned. I mean, Kyle Bradish, who pitched, I don't know what, started maybe 6, 7, maybe as many as 8 games.
Yeah.
His ERA and Trevor Rogers 1.6. I mean, but they were he pitched better than every Oriole except
Yeah.
for those two. And
Yeah, better than,
he
pitched better than Dean Kramer.
Pitch better than Kramer. He pitched better, certainly pitched better than Eflin, respectfully, and Cade Povich. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just, I don't know.
There was
I
somebody,
mean,
somebody
want
who
him.
commented, I
I'd
think,
take him.
on one of the Orioles chat groups where, sometimes where you can find our podcast or a link to this podcast. Somebody said to me, what do you think about the Orioles trading Ryan Mountcastle and Cade Povich to the Cincinnati Reds for Brady Singer? And Brady Singer is essentially the same pitcher as Dean Kramer. Now, that's not bad. He's durable, pitches to a ERA low 4s, pitches a lot of innings. But I said to the commenter, I'm like, well, I'd be all in favor of the deal, but someone on the Reds would have to be brain dead to do it. Ryan Mountcastle is a first baseman who can't hit. And Cade Povich is a pitcher who hasn't proven he can get major league batters out consistently. So I'm like, yeah, sure. But, that's a fantasy.
Oh, my goodness, Michael. Are you kidding me? You ready? Are you ready, Michael? Buzz.
Yeah.
You are now buzzed. That's probably what you're drinking there. No, but I will tell you, Cade Povich, why you, it's not just you, why has everybody always got to pick on Cade Povich? I got to tell you, he strikes out about a batter an inning. He can touch 95 as a left-hander, good curveball as we've seen, good kick change as we've seen. Not everybody comes out of the gate and, is Jim Palmer, is Sandy Koufax. I mean, I like him.
Sandy
I really
Koufax,
do.
dude. Cade Povich isn't even Sammy Stewart.
I love it.
It's
You're going to have to
nothing.
Google that one.
You have to go
Yeah.
backwards. But here's why, Joe. Because the dude has started. He started 16 games in 24. He started 20 games in 25, and his ERA in both of those years was 5.2. No improvement. As a matter of fact,
No.
it went up from 5.20 to 5.21. So I'm with you. I know that not everybody comes into the major leagues fully formed. I get that. And I know that he's been one of our top prospects, but he's going to be 26 early in this season.
Right.
So time is kind of running out for him to show that he's a major league pitcher.
Dean Kramer, same thing. Everybody always picks on him too. I mean, his ERA is about 4.2, and it's 4.2 every single season. 4.2, 4.2, or 4.1, 4.3, or 4.0, 4.2. I mean, he's very consistent. He eats innings. I mean, what would the Orioles have done without him last season? And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, no, I don't think I wouldn't trade Dean Kramer for Singer.
You can win rolling out Dean Kramer as your fourth or fifth starter.
Sure.
Every 5 days. You're not going to win a lot rolling out Cade Povich if he's pitching to a 5.2 ERA all the time.
No. I'm giving him one more try if he sees another try.
Yeah.
Because
I'd love it if they don't need him.
Yeah, I think they're going to do a 6-man rotation. I really do. Watch how smart I get here, Michael. People are going to think it's AI, and you're actually talking. They want to keep Bradish healthy. They don't want a bunch of Tommy Johns next year. I think if they bring in Verlander, and that's an if, there's a 6-man rotation right there because Zach Eflin claims that he will be ready for opening day. That's his claim. So, I think that's what they do. I really do. I think they go with a 6-man rotation. People disagree with that. But again, they don't want Bradish, again, to have some kind of relapse or need to get it fixed, whatever they didn't fix right the first time. Now, he looks good. Don't get me wrong. But I think a 6-man rotation. What say you? Am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong. I mean, it would be, be out of the ordinary in the major leagues. But if Eflin is ready, and given, how oft he was injured last year, if Eflin is ready and they don't sign anybody else, I could still see a 6-man rotation with Tyler Wells being the 6th. If they sign somebody, then I could definitely see there being, like Verlander, for instance. I could definitely see them using a 6-man rotation, and Wells is still in the pen, and Povich is in the pen or in the minor leagues. So, I mean, then you're like 8 starting pitchers deep. I could see that, and protecting Bradish makes sense because he pitched what? I don't know. He pitched 40 innings last year, if that. I don't. Only, like you said, 6 or 7 starts. So yeah, I mean, I could see them doing it, and I think it would make sense if those guys can reliably go 5 or 6 innings, because otherwise your bullpen's going to get short because, guys are going to have to eat too many innings. But I could see them doing it, and I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Well, speaking of not opposed to it, Michael, as always, like to thank all O's fans out there for tuning in to Joe Rossano's Orioles Report with Michael Sullivan. We will be back tomorrow with some really exciting stuff, as we always have. Once again, God bless you, O's fans. Don't forget to adopt a pet, and we'll see you next time.
See y'all.